In this lesson, we're going to look at some functions of the operator module. These are going to be utter getter, method caller, and item getter. Utter getter returns a callable object that fetches attribute from its operand. Item getter returns a callable object that fetches item from its operand. And finally, method caller returns a callable object that calls the method name on its operand. But first, we'll need to import these functions from the operator module at the top of the file. And let's take a look at the utter getter function first. And if we can use it to retrieve an attribute or property from an object, then we can use it as the value for the key in the sorted function. So let me clear up some space. And first, let's create a bit of a narrative in our output. So this print statement doesn't affect logic in any sense. This is just for us so we can clearly see what is going to follow after this line. So utter getter method, and now we can use the sorted function with product list, and then the utter getter function will be the value for the key parameter, and we'll also pass a weight to this utter getter function so that we'll retrieve the weight attribute from the object and reverse equals true. So let's run the code and have a look at the output. So essentially, each object that was passed to this utter getter function had its weight property retrieved, and then the list was sorted by this weight. So essentially, we don't need to write our own helper functions anymore to retrieve objects' properties and later use them in the sorted function. Let's look at the method caller function now, which essentially calls the given method on the object. So once again, this limits the need to write custom helper functions because we can use functions that were already built for us. So in this case, we're going to be using it in the sorted function again. But this time in its key, we're going to pass the method caller, and as an argument to the method caller, we're going to pass the name of the method we're going to call on each object. And in our case, it's going to be the discount price method. So if we'll run the code now, we'll see that objects are sorted by the price that was discounted. All right, let me comment everything out and we can study the last function, which is item getter. So essentially, item getter retrieves an item at the index we supplied to the function. And for our purpose, I have created a new list of items, which is the list full of dumbbells. So each item in this list is a tuple that contains a name and the weight of the dumbbell. The only problem is that all dumbbells have the same name. We can only distinguish between them by their weight. And by all means, we can do that. So in this tuple, in each tuple, dumbbell, the name is at index 0 and the weight is at index 1. Therefore, we pass to this item getter 1. So now the sorted function will use the item at index 1, so the weight of the dumbbell, as a sorting parameter and will sort our dumbbells according to its value.